At 71, John Travolta began making choices that unsettled even those who knew him best. It didn't start with an announcement or a public statement. Instead, it appeared quietly, through gestures that felt deeply personal. A leather jacket associated with Saturday Night Fever was gifted to a young actor he barely knew. One of the original backup white suits from 1977 was anonymously donated to a Brooklyn dance instructor. Even a pair of pilot wings, once given to him by Kelly Preston, was handed to a stranger at a charity event. Friends noticed a change, not sadness, but a reflective stillness behind his eyes. He began declining roles that would have required little effort, choosing solitude over constant motion. These actions weren't about disappearing. They suggested something more thoughtful, a man reassessing what legacy truly means when the applause fades and the noise quiets. The message that raised questions. In October 2025, Travolta recorded a short video he described as a message to everyone who ever believed in me. His voice was calm but emotional, breaking briefly as he spoke about gratitude rather than achievement. He didn't explain why he felt compelled to record it. He simply thanked audiences for every moment shared through his work. His daughter Ella urged him to keep it private. His son Benjamin asked gently if something was wrong. Travolta smiled and reassured them he was only feeling reflective. Still, those closest to him sensed depth beneath the words. The video wasn't an ending. It felt like acknowledgement, not of loss alone, but of connection. For someone whose life had been lived largely in public, the message felt intimate, less like a farewell, and more like a quiet bow to the people who had walked beside him through decades of storytelling. Learning to carry loss. Forward grief has shaped Travolta's life in layers rather than moments. When his son Jett passed away in 2009, a part of him grew permanently quiet. When Kelly Preston died in 2020, something within him fractured and reshaped. Long before that, losing his mother Helen in 1978 taught him how to keep moving through sorrow without collapsing under it. But in recent years, movement itself felt different. It was slower, more deliberate, less driven by momentum. Travolta didn't retreat from life. He reoriented toward it. He spent more time at his Florida home, flew his planes without destinations, and embraced silence without fear. These weren't signs of giving up. They reflected a man learning how to coexist with absence, understanding that grief doesn't vanish, but it can be carried with grace when life is no longer about proving anything. The child who learned to transform to understand John Travolta today, you have to return to a small house in New Jersey where survival met imagination. Born in 1954 as the youngest of 6 children, he grew up in a home filled with noise, scarcity, and determination. His father worked long hours running a tire shop. Money was tight, but his mother Helen filled the house with creativity. She taught acting classes in their living room, rehearsing songs while cooking dinner. Young John watched her transform into other people and saw freedom in that change. Struggling with a stutter and relentless bullying at school, he learned that becoming someone else felt safer than being himself. Acting wasn't a dream at first. It was protection. It allowed him to step outside pain and into possibility. That instinct to transform would later become the foundation of his entire life, when applause changed everything. At 12 years old, Travolta experienced a moment that altered his understanding of the world. Cast in a small role in a local theater production directed by his mother, he walked on stage carrying years of quiet hurt. That night, something unlocked. He spoke without hesitation. He moved with confidence he didn't yet possess. When the performance ended, the audience stood and applauded. Not politely, but passionately. For the first time, he felt seen without being judged. Backstage, grown actors congratulated him. His parents watched with emotion they couldn't hide. That standing ovation wasn't about talent alone. It was validation. It told a bullied child that expression could turn pain into connection. From that moment forward, acting became more than escape. It became purpose. Travolta understood that storytelling could give meaning to what once felt unbearable, and he never stopped chasing that feeling. New York and the price of persistence. At 16, Travolta made a decision that terrified his family but felt inevitable to him. He left high school and moved to New York City with little money and enormous resolve. Life there was unforgiving. He lived in cramped rooms, worked exhausting jobs, and endured constant rejection. Auditions ended in silence more often than opportunity. Hunger and loneliness were regular companions. Still, he trained relentlessly, studying voice, movement, and discipline, under demanding teachers who stripped away instinct and rebuilt craft. Each rejection hardened his resolve rather than breaking it. He learned endurance, the ability to show up again after disappointment. When small roles finally came, they weren't glamorous, but they were real. Each performance taught him something new. New York didn't promise success, but it taught him survival. That lesson stayed with him long after fame arrived. Fame, pressure, and sudden lost success came quickly and intensely in the mid-1970s. Welcome Back, Cotter made Travolta a household name, and Saturday Night Fever turned him into a cultural force. Grease followed, sealing his place in entertainment history. But while the world celebrated, tragedy unfolded quietly. During the height of his rise, his mother became gravely ill. She urged him to continue working, insisting this moment was what they had dreamed of together. When she passed away in 1978, Travolta fulfilled obligations with a smile that masked profound grief. He learned then that fame does not shield loss, applause cannot replace absence. That lesson arrived early and stayed with him. It shaped the vulnerability audiences sensed beneath his confidence. Even at his most iconic, he carried sorrow just out of view, learning how to perform while broken. Falling, learning, and choosing differently. The years that followed fame were not gentle. Misjudged roles, missed opportunities, and shifting public taste pushed Travolta from the spotlight. Hollywood moved on quickly. The industry that once celebrated him grew quiet. But failure taught him what success never could. He'd learned humility, patience, and perspective. He learned that identity cannot rely solely on approval. When opportunities returned, he approached them differently. Pulp Fiction wasn't a comeback fueled by ego. It was a risk taken with honesty. It worked because he no longer needed to be invincible. From that point forward, his choices reflected balance rather than ambition. He valued work that interested him, relationships that grounded him, and moments that mattered. Falling taught him how to rise without illusion and how to stay steady when success returned. Fatherhood as his truest role. Of all the roles John Travolta has played, none reshaped him more deeply than fatherhood. Raising his children redefined success in ways awards never could. After losing Jett, he faced grief that altered time itself. Becoming a father again with Benjamin brought complicated hope, joy intertwined with remembrance. Through it all, he chose presence. He turned down work to stay home. He protected privacy fiercely. With Ella and Benjamin, he found reasons to keep living fully even when pain lingered. Fatherhood grounded him in the present, reminding him that love isn't measured in longevity, but in attention. It taught him that showing up matters more than perfection. This role, unlike any other, didn't ask him to transform. It asked him to remain real, letting go without leaving. In recent years, as rumors and false reports circulated online, Travolta responded simply, with life, a photo flying a plane, a quiet dance at home, a smile beside his son. He didn't fight speculation with statements, he answered it by continuing. When asked about giving away personal items, he explained that memories don't live in objects, they live in people. Passing things on wasn't an ending, it was trust. Trust that stories continue beyond us. At 71, John Travolta isn't stepping away from life. He's choosing how to stand within it. He still dances, not to reclaim the past, but to honor it. He still moves forward carrying love, grief, and gratitude together. This isn't a story about goodbye. It's about learning how to keep living when the music changes, and choosing to dance anyway.